On 9/27/2023, I was stopped by Sheriff Michael Petrucci from the Hamilton County Sheriff's Department. He was making a left-hand turn going towards Three Rivers School on Route 50 in Cleves when I passed him going 55 miles per hour, and he seen me and alleges that he saw the license plate was expired from that distance. He was sitting still, getting ready to make a left-hand turn, but then, like I said, saw my truck and then followed after me and stopped me, of course. And then this is when he gave me this ticket and impounded my truck. I apologize. 9/27 is the first court date, which the first court date told me that if I got my license plates taken care of by the time I made it back into court for, whatever, that they would go ahead and dismiss the case. But I thought that by going ahead and finding myself to we call it, fight the case, that maybe they'd give me my truck back. So I went ahead and pled not guilty. So the case went like this. The judge basically heard the case and found me guilty based on his opinion, not the rule of law. That's pretty complicated to explain, but whatever the deal is, I didn't even get to argue my case based on my constitutional rights that I felt was violated. Even my public pretender told me that he felt that it would be a bad idea to present my case to the judge based on my constitutional rights, that he did not like hearing these types of arguments. So I appealed the charge, or appealed the judge's decision. And he gave me probation too, which was 6 months and X amount of money to pay. But I appealed it immediately, and he even denied my motion to basically stay his decision and the probation and all that, make it basically just sit still until the appellate court decides if his ruling was fair or not fair, and which was unconstitutional for him to do anyways because it was biased. He was basically penalizing me for taking it further than his own court. Like, basically contradicting him, which I was clearly contradicting him because I don't trust the courts. I don't trust any of them. We're corporate America property, Why would I trust them? The long story short is that upon waiting here recently, about a week ago, I got my decision back from the appellate court. His decision was overturned. I contacted the probation department. They had a warrant for my arrest, and she contacted the judge and found out that, everything was dismissed. So the warrant no longer exists. Now, with the appellate court overturning his decision, that means that all of this was supposed to basically have never happened. That was more or less what it's like. It's a weird analogy or concept, but being dismissed means that everything that happened from that point on should have never really happened, but we can't turn back time. But that basically means that my vehicle's mine and I should be able to get it back. Well, I contacted the Hamilton County Sheriff's Department and I talked to 3 different people. And the first guy didn't even know where my truck was even at, or he couldn't find it. I had to get him some more information on the vehicle. And then the second one, the gentleman that was in the office at the Hamilton County Sheriff's Department in Cincinnati, Ohio, you could just tell in his voice on the phone, his demeanor was just like, who the hell are you? What do you want? Blah, 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 blah. But he transferred me to the property department, and she went ahead and told me, she said, well, I advise you get you some representation, because your vehicle is no longer your vehicle is no longer in our possession. We gave forfeiture to the third-party agency that towed the car. It don't make no sense. So I called back, and I talked to somebody else, and I asked him to give me a supervisor. This was the same guy that I talked to that I said was acting he didn't really give 2 shits about who I was anyways. Well, he proceeds to sit there and give me the runaround. Well, if you already got the decision from the property department, that's what it is. Get your representation, get your attorney, and to sue us. And I said, well, that makes no damn sense. I said, because guess who pays for the suit if I win? We do. So there will be no repercussions for the law for violating my constitutional rights, stealing my vehicle without due process, and then sending me through all the court systems, which I followed and complied completely, which then had dismissed out of the appellate court, and now my vehicle's gone. They gave ownership to my vehicle to a third-party agency who should have never had my vehicle in their possession at all. Because if Hamilton County takes your vehicle from you because you broke a law according to the state is responsible for the fucking car. It should be where the fucking state is. wherever their department is. It should be at the sheriff's department, or they should never be subleasing to a third-party agency. It's just unconstitutional, because he was trying to tell me show ownership of my vehicle to him. But he's going to give my vehicle to a third-party agency who has no documentation to it, other than the sheriff's department giving them access to my vehicle, stealing it for legally. So, it makes no sense. Well, like I said, but they tell me to get legal representation, and I told them, I'm going to represent myself, and I will. But then they wouldn't speak to me anymore. I'm like, why? If I'm representing myself on a civil matter as my own defense attorney, I'm allowed to speak with you guys. I want facts, I want details, and I want to know what the heck's going on, and if we can mediate outside of the courts. They wouldn't talk to me. One lady hung up on me. At the Hamilton County Sheriff's Department in Cincinnati, Ohio, and the lead sheriff, McGuffey, is her name. This woman here, I'm not saying anything bad about her because I don't know her like that, but she got caught speeding in Claremont County 3 months prior to my incident, right? She was going 72 or something like that in a 55. Stopped by the Claremont Sheriff's Department. She doesn't work for that department, but she is a sheriff. She's the lead sheriff in Cincinnati. Well, long story short, she flashes her badge, tells her the uniform, sit in the passenger seat, and he lets her go. Now, my stop was because of expired license plates, which then they found out they were fictitious, which I didn't know that, but whatever. So, my tags are a non-moving violation. They're not detrimental to anyone's safety or health. No concern to anybody but the state. Okay? And then she gets stopped for speeding, which, I mean, if she would have wrecked, or God forbid, she could have killed somebody, because that's just ideally, that big piece of metal moving at 72 miles per hour, in a 55, it's like anything could happen. But no. She's of the law. She's the thin blue line. She can do whatever the fuck she wants because she's the fucking police. We, the people, who they're sworn to serve and protect, are their enemy. They hate us. They hate our fucking guts. And if we don't have a fucking clout in our checkbook and a name that they recall, fuck it. You're liable to get killed on the fucking, getting stopped by them. And then they wonder why people don't want fucking deal with them. Because they are nothing but fucking demonic fucking punks. And that's all they are. I mean, that's the truth. And I don't wish anything violent upon them. But I tell you what, they cause their own disconnect between the public. They are the enemy of the public. Because they don't give a fuck about us. They have no compassion. They don't give a fuck about our rights. They just care to fucking make that money for the goddamn the system, the machine. Also, police get incentivized to, I guess, create revenue, The more tickets they get bonuses and kickbacks of some sort, And when you incentivize a person that has a job to get more money for their performance, and their performance means literal writing tickets and arresting people. When you're incentivizing this, because, I mean, if they were out rescuing cats from trees, they wouldn't be collecting their revenue, right? If they were out talking to people on the streets, getting to know the fucking, the people that they're patrolling, get to know the neighborhood, wouldn't be no revenue, They don't do the things that the typical cops would do back when we was kids, the ones that we idolized and wanted to become like, when we played cops and robbers, and they went out and they fought crime and they literally got the bad guys and the real bad guys, the ones that everybody be afraid of because they're bad guys, right? But that's not policing today. These motherfuckers literally follow a protocol of writing tickets for people for speeding, running stop signs, anything they can do to create a problem with a person that might not even actually be breaking any laws according to the Constitution, but because they fucking said so, they'll escalate it and likely arrest somebody or write out a few tickets. You know what I'm saying? And when they write out their tickets, they make sure they get you for every damn thing they can. It's not just the ticket because, well, I stopped you because you have a license plate out, but I noticed your windshield's cracked and you got a headlight out and your taillight's out, and guess what? Your left door don't open. We're going to go ahead and write you all these tickets right here because that's a safety hazard. We're going to give you all these fucking tickets right here, and you got till that date to pay it. If you don't, show up to court, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? It's like, you son of a bitches, they're fucking worse than robots. That's dumb. But, yeah, I just wanted to add that real fast.